Fortunes for these two sides in round one of the Rainbow Cup. Munster beating Leinster in Dublin for the first time in 7 years. Ulster losing at home to Connacht in dramatic circumstances. 8 changes for Munster from the side that produced that season's best display to win at the RDS a fortnight ago. 4 of those in that forward pack. Gavin Coombs restored to the back row with CJ Stander among the replacements. Lions call up Tadhg Beirne starting at lock. Joey Corby rested, so there's a recall to fly half duties for Claremont-bound JJ Hanrahan. Conor Murray scored 2 of Munster's 3 tries against Leinster. His enduring pedigree has earned him a 3rd Lions recognition. Wholesale changes for Ulster from that Challenge Cup exit at the hands of Leicester at Welford Road. 5 in the pack, a second senior start for Marcus Ray on the open side flank. And interesting to chart the progress of 20-year-old David McCann, dynamic ball carrier and natural-born leader. No John Cooney or Billy Burns tonight, so it's Albie Matheson back on familiar terrain alongside Michael Lowry, and Will Addison starts a match for the first time in some 16 months, having endured a torrid time with injuries. Great to have his mercurial skill set back on show tonight at a rather blustery and recently very cold Thomond Park after bright sunshine on the banks of the Shannon all afternoon in Limerick. Ulster's captain Ian Henderson then selected for a second Lions tour this week. As he was saying pre-match, the highs of the selection are brought back down to earth with the importance of tonight's task at Thomond Park, a ground that they've struggled on in recent history, albeit they have had 1 or 2 marquee victories here. But Ulster really playing for their season in many respects. Munster led out, of course, by a former Lions Test captain, Peter O'Mahony, who said pretty frankly that he hasn't played enough rugby of late to be in the picture, but this man certainly is. He's on his way to South Africa for a Lions tour, and as he said, timing everything. Massive year it's been for Tadhg Beirne. Will he get the chance to appear in a Lions Test to get the Springboks? Craig Evans is in charge tonight, assisted by his 2 assistants, Sean Gallagher and Rob O'Sullivan. Ollie Hodges is in the TMO box.
For me, is it?
Strong breeze swirling around at Thomond Park, and as we kick off, Ulster kick off in the first half, it is blowing into the faces of Michael Lowry and his Ulster teammates. A chastening defeat, really, at the semi-final stage of the Challenge Cup at Welford Road, having led the contest and been very much in the box seat. Very interesting to see how this Ulster side will respond tonight against a Munster side.
Let's go.
Who probably would have liked to have played last week in this competition, having had that really, really impressive win against Leinster at the RDS, when they were so physical and produced, by most people's reckoning, their best performance of the season so far by a long margin. It is Ulster who get their hands on the ball early doors with Albie Matheson, get it into David McCann. Keep your eye on him. He's so dangerous with ball in hand, so strong. He's got lovely feet as well. Ulster player on the wrong side is Tadhg Beirne. Penalty advantage now for Matheson and co to try and eke out an advantage. John Andrew in for Rob Herring in the hooker role tonight. Good hands from him. Here's Michael Lowry. McCluskey always looking to get those long levers free and try and get that offload game going. Taken on by Jordy Murphy in that relatively unfamiliar position of blindside flank tonight. No advantage accruing. That's a pretty good opening salvo by Ulster if we were wondering how they would settle into the task. Bernard Jackman alongside me tonight in Limerick.
Yeah, great start from Ulster. In fairness, Munster playing into a strong wind, and we saw Conor Murray's box kick just getting held up, and that gave Ulster territory and possession, and very similar to how they started against Leicester last week, playing really flat in the gain line, playing off 9, getting over the gain line, looking to play those little tip-on passes, and a bright start for them, and gives Larry a great chance to get 3 points and settle into the game.
Well, frustration was one of the key sound bites coming out of the Ulster camp this week, at how they allowed Leicester back into the contest at Welford Road, having led the game by 17 points to 6, almost in some respects as though they could defend from a long way out, an 11-point advantage. Can Lowry kick the visitors into an early advantage here and get that scoreboard ticking over? It looks good from up here, and up go the flags, and Ulster have the first score of the evening in Limerick. Inside 3 minutes, they lead by 3 points. Confident strike from Michael Lowry.
He's such an exciting player. I mean, we saw the damage he can do in the open field and his try against Connacht, breaking against Connacht 2 weeks ago, and I'm looking forward to seeing him start the game at 10 and see how he can balance that need to control, game manage, but also with the individual brilliance he obviously has.
When you're ready.
A pretty frank assessment in the review. We're led to believe after the Leicester game they'd expect nothing else. A little bit of soul searching, I'm sure, as well from an Ulster point of view, having failed to produce the goods in the Pro 14 ultimately. They're so desperate, as are Munster, of course, to end this barren spell without silverware.
Here's the mark, lads.
Yeah, it's a nice kick-off from Ulster. They're using the wind, they hang it up and straight down the middle, and Shane Daly had come into the middle to chase that, and he got up and got a great tap back, but unfortunately just a little knock on.
As you are. Good.
Yes, it's really blowing hard down there now, and it's one of the impacts really of COVID and the protocols is that the pitch, of course, is a designated red zone, and we can't really go down there and sample the conditions. We're quite closeted up here in the stands from the commentary position.
Yeah, no, we are, but it is very blustery down there. Just the position of this scrum here, it's right, very close to the middle. They've got Larry on the right as first receiver and Jacob Stockton on the left. And the beauty of his left boot is it makes it so difficult for Mike Haley, who's situated directly behind the scrum. So he's got to try and cover a huge amount of space, both to his left and his right, obviously with a run option as well. But it'll be interesting to see if Ulster trying to use the wind and get a little bit territory and stretch Mike Haley.
Set. Hold it. Keep that up. Keep that up. Up. Keep it up.
Solid scrum. Mathewson goes to his fly half, and they put it through the hands and into the arms of Addison, and straight away his first thought is to test an outside shoulder. Nice little cameo for him to settle into matters 4.5 minutes into the game after so long on the sidelines. Great to see him back. Hands on the ball from the turnover king, Chris Clute, but the opposition, or the decision rather, goes the opposite direction.
1 and 3.
2 tacklers, effectively cleared out.
Yeah, so that's well picked up. I think Chris Clute's looked at him, the referee, a little bit bemused because he felt he had rights to the ball, but the 2 tacklers from Munster had been too slow to roll away and rolled out towards the 9. See here, just 1 and 3, just affecting the clear out there. It's quite subtle, but it makes it so hard for Andy Warwick to get in and deal with Clute. We just see Will Addison just going for that outside break. It's so exciting to have him back, and makes a good gain line.
First start since game against Bath on the 20th of January. 16 months. Now it's McCluskey again, and it takes 3 Munster players really backpedaling to bring him to ground. Lowry now to Addison, thought he might pop it back out to his fly half. Instead he tries to make an incision infield, and here's Mathewson, change of direction on the point of attack. Peter O'Mahony's in there very quickly. He missed the ball. He might have got a chunk of Michael Lowry instead, the Munster captain.
All I've got is a knock on by White. That's what I saw. Knock on by White, scrum red.
Yeah, I think disappointing for Ulster there because it was such a good set-piece launch. Kluski getting well over the gain line, but Albie Matchison got a little bit lost. It was on to go left. He changed him on at the last minute and then threw a poor pass, and Peter Manny, putting boot to it there, and ends up connecting with Lowry. But lucky Lowry lives to fight another day.
Stay on the ball now, please, lads.
Takes one for the team, but he's quickly back up to his feet.
Keep our shoulder out all the way. Square it off through that.
Won't be the first fella to get a kick down in Limerick.
Crouch.
Well, they got a bit of a kick in it a few years back here, Ulster, didn't they, when they came down with the depleted team in 2018 and conceded 9 tries, but...
Square.
White.
Lost Ian Henderson and John Cooney to injury that night.
Straight away.
It's an advantage here for Conor Murray, that's why he spins one out.
White tight there to his knee.
No, that's getting very lively over there. Rory Scannell and Addison, and there's plenty of afters as well. Mike Haley's in the thick of things, and there's...
Out of there. 7, leave.
All a little unsavoury very early in the game. And it's not quite finished just yet, and it flares up again, and the advertising hoardings are being tested over on that far side, and there's a couple of little pockets away to the left still going as well.
Boys, leave.
Yeah, it's a proper Irish Interpro.
Leave it. 5 up.
I'd love to get another look at actually what started. Will Addison seemed to react to something which is uncharacteristic for him. He's not that type of player, but I think if they have a look at it, Will Addison could be in trouble.
White, you take the players there, look. Just take those. Just scoop them up. Just scoop them up. Time's off. Just scoop them up. 2 minutes, please.
So late hit,
Just go over there, please, Peter.
Peter O'Mahony is saying, and meanwhile Ollie
Sean,
Hodges is going to have a look at this.
For 3, there's no call to give me from the scrum. I've seen players come together. Everyone's running. I haven't seen anything clear to go and chase.
The 2 players that started were red 12.
Red 12.
And white 13.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, they just ran into each other after the whistle went, and everything escalated after that. So I think you need to speak to both of those players.
Yeah, when it escalated, I didn't see anything further need to act on other than the scrum penalty, other than give both captains a warning. Okay. Boys,
What was the catalyst, I wonder, to spark the little fracas between Scannell and Addison?
Right. So it's white 13 with a late tackle. So I give a penalty to Munster from the scrum, then obviously that bed as well, so they have the option of the penalty. Okay, now boys. Look, we've been playing about 4 or 5 minutes. Through the penalty from the scrum, then you all came together. All 15 of you came together. I didn't see anything other than pushing and shoving, okay? But there was a late tackle by a white 13, so there's a scrum penalty there. Now Munster got the other option. Boys, it's 4 minutes into the game. Another 76 to go or whatever. It stops there. Okay, have a word. Have a word. Okay, you got this. You got the scrum penalty there when we restart, or the late tackle on the 5. Okay, I'll let you have time to speak to players first.
Yeah, look at Scannell does go after. You see it here. Will Addison hits him late. Scannell goes after him. It's just Will Addison dips and goes at him again. I think Will Addison's probably pretty lucky that they don't have another look at that, just because he does start the fracas, but there was no real damage done after that. So I can understand why the referee just wants to play on.
Not entirely unlike the Interpro at the RDS between Leinster and Munster a couple of weeks ago, when Munster brought plenty of physicality and it carried on in that sort of niggly vein. But and there's the 2 of them sizing each other up once again as Tadhg claims the Munster line, and now JJ Hanrahan with an opportunity to bring in Dan Goggin in midfield. Conor Murray now, there's another advantage being played by the very busy Craig Evans after only 7.5 minutes or so here. Good take on a nice angle from Tadhg. Back inside it goes to Coombs, this time from Hanrahan. Gavin Coombs back in at number 8 tonight, of course. CJ Stander on the bench. Here's an opportunity for Niall Scannell.
Okay, you're not going anywhere. Captain.
Another big clear out there, this time from Finan Wycherley.
You've got a late tackle on the 9. It's got to change. Just move it.
Late on Conor Murray this time.
Yeah, just see here, ball off the top.
There you go.
Yeah, and it's Henderson himself as the captain, just follows through a little bit, doesn't wrap his arms either. And a big feature of the sequence of rucks after that is how clean the Munster breakdown is, how long and deep they're going when they're clean, similar to as they did against Leinster. And in fairness, the ball's on the plate for Conor Murray. So Ulster need to make sure that they slow that ball down a little bit better and get some purchase on it, because if not, Munster will just continue to get over the gain line.
Thank you. Lads.
Yeah, I'm lads. Sure.
Boys, you stand. I'll get the numbers. He's standing there calling you.
Sorry, numbers.
Are we in?
Mike Healy,
5.
as we saw at the
5.
RDS game as well, at the front of that Munster line-out. Scannell is poised and ready. Cloutier goes towards the back, and it's Healy all the way at the back. Did Henderson knock that on the floor?
No. Not going to guard there. Only knockouts by White, Joe. Scrum.
Yeah, that's a lot more intricate than the one we saw last week, where he threw him up at the front. There he's dumming from the front all the way to the back with the lift, and obviously
when I'm set, I'll get the number.
You know, he catches there, just needs a little bit of work to do on his delivery. Yeah, it's an interesting setup, really. I can't see what the great value is of having him do such an intricate movement, but obviously there is a plan there, and we'll be interested to see if they use it later on in the game.
He's played a huge amount of rugby this season. He's been in terrific form tonight. His 18th start of the campaign, 3 tries.
Crouch.
And of course, Simon Zebo to come into the mix.
See Simon Zebo doing some lineouts with Donegal Ryan next week in Paris.
Keep it up. Use.
Ball is out, and here comes Coombs. And there goes Coombs, and he's still going. He might go all the way. In fact, only a couple of feet short of that try line. Ball is there for O'Mahony. Fitting Wycherley in behind. Scannell there too. Wycherley goes for the line. Good defence though from Ulster. They hold them out.
White 3 leave.
For now at least. Conor Murray 2 tries a couple of weeks ago against Leinster. It's John Ryan. Will Addison is offside. Scannell now with an opportunity. As the first try of the evening in the 11th minute. Over goes Rory Scannell. Munster with the advantage, and they take full advantage.
As much as the game changes, some things stay the same. Having a big, powerful 8, getting off the back of the scrum, getting into that 8-10 channel over the gain line, it's very difficult to regain momentum here. And you see McCluskey just gets caught the wrong side, and that's a phenomenal carry, phenomenal leg drive, great support play, and then on the penalty advantage, Ulster just run out of numbers, and Scannell just spots that little dog leg and goes through. So great try from Munster. We said they're against the wind. To go up and score with what will be 7 points, is a great start for them.
Ulster a little bit slow to reset there defensively, and many eyes were fixed on Gavin Coombs and Chris Cloutey. Out they went to Scannell, who managed to get past McCluskey to dot down.
Yeah, I think McCluskey will be disappointed. He got caught the wrong side of Coombs there. He just needs to come in and hit and stay body on, stay north. He ends up getting caught trying to choke him up, and with someone like Coombs' leg drive plus the Munster support players coming in, you're not going to be able to hold him up there.
So 7 points to 3, 12 minutes at Thomond Park. It's been very, very lively. Scannell scoring off a penalty advantage conceded by Will Addison. There's a little bit of a psychological warfare going on after that fracas a few moments ago up the other end.
Use it! Use it! Push back.
Conor Murray under pressure from McCluskey. Keeps it in field, inviting Stockdale forward. Good claim from the Ulster fullback. Henderson up against Cloutey. Quick ball for Mathewson. Is there something up the sleeve here for Ulster to try and hit back after the concession of that 7 points? John Andrew, I think it is, adjudged to be off his feet.
Yeah, but it's solid defence from Munster. Cloutey shot out of the line, chopped Dean Henderson, and they're not really getting over the gain line. It's easy for the referee to spot that. You see John Andrew, he's just looking at the ground. He's surfing over the body of the ball carrier, but not really affecting the clean out, and it's just sealing off. And well picked up by the referee. Probably poor technique from John Andrew.
Red, how many? How many, please, Captain?
And this time it's Wycherley who's the option from Scannell's throw. It's Munster ball in clean possession. And it's another typically robust and effective carry from that man, Gavin Coombs. Now here's JJ Hanrahan, the Clermont-bound fly half. Back in the thick of things, having sat out the game against Leinster a fortnight ago. Goggin. Tadhg as the two Lions collide. Henderson with the challenge. JJ Hanrahan thought he spotted half a gap. He was almost through. That was due diligence from David McCann, who spotted the danger and stuck to the task. Good tackle from the Ulster number 8. Munster still in possession now with Kilcoyne. Hanrahan again, good hands to Scannell, and Goggin now
Stay.
had the option of his captain outside. Coombs. Munster making slow progress towards that Ulster 22, having to go through double figures of phases. That's a little bit more direct from Kilcoyne. Did well to hold on to it. It's loose from Conor Murray, but it was good pressure from Ulster. That's inventive from Mike Haley. We saw him score a beautiful try against Connacht a few weeks back here from that kind of situation. A broken field ball and loose play. Laurie's under pressure here now. Conway can't quite get in there.
Hughes, carry back. All white hold.
There is that big boot of Stockdale, as Bernard was saying, with the conditions in his favour. Daly to stand up and take on his man, and he easily got past Stockdale, but not so Jordy Murphy. Scannell to Hanrahan. Tagburn now up to halfway. Hanrahan again. Scannell the option on the inside, goes instead to Haley, and now O'Mahony timed the pass out of the tackle very well. There's Conor Murray again, sniping round. Very little pitch to work with. Ethan McElroy's knocked that forward, has he? And that's good pressure from Munster. And
no shout in the face, lads.
That's some really good rugby from Munsters, from the line out in their own half, getting Coombs over. The quality of their breakdown work has been phenomenal. And then just the hands here from Peter Mann. He draws and gives, just getting over the gain line, running at soft shoulders, and then Murray just has a little snipe down the blind side, and it's the wherewithal to put it in behind and force the pressure. But I like that from Daly as well, taking on Stockdale on the counter-attack. It's very difficult to kick it back against this wind, but he backed himself to beat Stockdale one-on-one and you know, get back towards the gain line, and from there Munster found their shape pretty quickly.
16 minutes in, it's been fairly lively stuff. If you're just settling in with us, early penalty for Michael Lowry.
Okay.
Munster's response was a converted Rory Scannell try.
You all good?
A lot of talks about Billy Holland and the 200 club. Rory Scannell, the youngest player at 25 to reach 100 caps for this province.
Scrum's a lot better.
Yeah, it's a great achievement. He's going to have a huge career here if he stays around. He's a big part of this squad. Very intelligent footballer, and yeah, he's a difficult player to play against.
Well, we have, of course, got dispensation from the government to allow extra players in, so they're not interlopers. They are allowed in here. R.G. Snyman and some more of the Ulster squad.
Yeah, obviously reading about R.G. Snyman had a little setback last week, a little procedure on his knee again. Hopefully it's not too serious and he can get back and be part of that summer series against the Lions and come back and have a great season for Munster next year.
His timing was spot on there.
Let's keep working on that gap, boys. Wait for the set.
It'd be great to see him back before the close of the season.
5 metres, lads. Crouch.
Now, prime position here for Munster.
Set. Hold it.
Coombs controlling.
Use it.
Now he goes and presses the accelerator. Huge power and big collision with Stuart McCluskey. Now Conor Murray. That was a huge hit from McCluskey on Coombs and picked up a pace there well by Wycherley.
Leave it, there's a ruck.
Munster get that latch on. Now the ball is a little bit slower coming back for O'Mahony.
As you are.
Ryan closest to him, Scannell poised. O'Mahony will have a little look himself.
No. Ball is lifted, play on. Ball is
that was
lifted,
okay, so it's turnover ball. If Ulster can complete the task here, get hands on and try and get it clear, and now they will. So they've survived that little onslaught.
Slowing the ball down.
Yeah, that's a huge
Put
turnover.
On the wrong side, 10, you've got to get out.
So the penalty was against JJ Hanrahan. Just when the ball was tapped out of Conor Murray's hands, it bounced in front of JJ, and JJ was out of position and had to try and slow the ball down. Just probably a little bit lazy line over the ball, but another great break from Coombs off the back of the scrum and looking to offload the goggles. You see it here. Yeah, John Andrew, I think that's pretty harsh, to be honest, or pretty lucky for Ulster. I think Murray would have an argument that he wasn't entitled to do that. But you see Coombs again here, getting through McCluskey, just looking for that offload. Unfortunately, Goggins overruns it, but he's had a bright start to the game.
He was so good here, wasn't he, in the defeat to Toulouse?
No, you put him there, White, you get him out. White,
Against that big physical Toulouse pack. A couple of tries to his credit.
Nothing's happened. Leave it, ball's coming back. You've slowed your own ruck down, White. Now there's a wrap there. Hold.
Up it goes from Albie Mathewson. Confident take from Shane Daly. So adept under the high ball, of course, having played so much at fullback. He was fullback against Ulster, actually, in the defeat up in Belfast back in January. First game of the season in the Pro 14 that Munster lost, if memory serves. Now, was that a little bit forward?
That's forward, lads. Scrum. Forward. Boys, you especially, okay? If you want to have a 10-second rack and pin the plate in there, I'll wait for 10 seconds. I'm not going to award a penalty for holding the man on the floor. No. If you want a slow rack, it's up to you. But I'm not going to get a penalty for it.
Yeah, we just see it here. Scallon's trying to get the ball to Conway. Pretty marginal, to be honest. I think it's hard, you know, with that wind to judge it. But it's great to see him trying to get the ball out to Conway and giving him a one-on-one with his opposite man. He's such a dangerous player. The previous ruck that the referee's talking about, yeah, Alan O'Connor tried to trap a Munster player in the wrong side. The referee was on to it and didn't give the penalty away. And from there, Munster just counter-rucked both sides and made it really slow and messy, which gave them time to get their backfield organised. A great take from Shane Daly.
Set. Keep it there, Red. Up.
Now bring us up. Bring us up. I'm going to reset this. Okay. Right, boys. Number 3. Okay. You need to start off fire because you're going to your knees very quick. But it's not helping your elbows to the ground pulling. Okay, your elbow needs to be up. You just scrummage at a higher height. Okay? Yep. That's where it's a reset.
This is a good test for Tom O'Toole. We know, you know, he's been part of the Irish squad. He's certainly seen as a player, development player for the future, very powerful athlete. But he's up against David Cocoyne, who's a really experienced campaigner, and he's just bringing him down so low. It's difficult for Tom O'Toole to keep his feet, so it'll be interesting if he can adapt and manage to get that ball in and out, and Ulster can play away.
Crouch. Bind.
Yes, he's given away 10 years of experience in there against Kilcoyne as O'Toole.
Boys, we spoke in the change rooms and we all said how good the scrums have been in the last couple of games. We're failing to see it here. I want you to take your time through the setup, show stability and no weight through the bind. Okay? That's it.
It's interesting, there was a Toole who popped up there. He obviously wasn't comfortable. Kilcoyne might be putting a lot of pressure on pre-bind, and just if he doesn't come down this time, I'd say referee would be tempted to give a free kick against him.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold it. Hold. As you are.
And this time it is a completed scrummage into the hands of Lowry, and he's available again for that pop out the back door from McCluskey. Good cover from Healy, who's up there very quickly on Rob Little. First time we've really seen Rob Little with ball in hand after 22 minutes of the game. Ulster got the ball to the edge pretty quickly, but it was good defence. Henderson now under pressure from Cloete. The clear out had to be good from Andrew Warwick, and it was. Mathewson now. Lowry gets it away to McCann there for the Ulster scrum half again. Henderson has seen plenty of ball the opening quarter of the game. And there is the aforementioned tight head Tom O'Toole, and there is a typically brilliant piece of Jacqueline from Tadhg Beirne.
Yeah, that's textbook, but it's too easy. Once Tom O'Toole goes back in towards the ruck, back in towards Tadhg Beirne, there's going to be only one winner there. He's such a good jackal threat, but a good hit by by Peter Mann. He stops Tom O'Toole in his tracks, but more importantly, he sends him back in towards the threat. And again, you know, if you're an Ulster player, you got to avoid that blue scrum cap. You got to send the ball to where he's not directly falling back into his zone. You just see it here, you know, and it's a pretty average clear out as well. You know, from the first arrival, not high, not aggressive enough, and giving him 2 seconds to get on the ball is too late.
How many, Red? 5. Let's keep it 2.
Well, obviously playing at Lock tonight, it's going to be so interesting on that Lions tour exactly what Warren Gatlin thinks in terms of 4, 5 and 6 and where he might find a home for the likes of Ian Henderson and Tadhg Byrne. Here come Munster now mixing things up, and plenty of invention about their backline play. It's similar to the Leinster game. Shane Daly a long way in off that blindside wing to get involved. No, Ulster referee's going to deem that everyone through the gate and legal, so McCann has affected the turnover. Munster a little bit sloppy there, just went to sleep almost. Nobody in the scrum half position, and there's Laurie. Spots a little bit of open territory, but just didn't get the angle on his kick and got way too much on it.
Yeah, that's
all the way back to the 10.
That's the risk when you go straight down the middle with a big wind behind you. At least if you're kicking on a diagonal, you've got a chance of finding a touch on the bounce. You see it here. Good carry by Wycherley, but Munster lost their way a little bit. Only Tadhg Byrne into support. Well spotted by Alan O'Connor, counter ruck. And yeah, Larry sees the space down the middle. He finds grass, but as I said, with that wind and a hard surface, the consequences of that coming back from a scrum is a big blow for Ulster. They haven't used the wind at all to their advantage, and trying to play a possession type game, but Munster have so many jackal threats. I think it's the wrong strategy, but maybe it's a reaction to all the kicking they did in the second half against Leicester last week that they got criticised for. They want to play ball in hand and engage with Munster.
Yeah, that was the thing. There was so much to admire about that Ulster performance up to a point, and then they almost seemed to retreat into themselves. You talk about ruck speed. I mean, the ruck speed at Welford Road from an Ulster point of view was so good. It gave them real front foot platform, and then the game just kind of changed. They almost seemed to kick possession away and play into Leicester's hands.
Yeah, I think we've got to give credit to Leicester. It seems as if the message they got onto the field in terms of putting more pressure to break down. The first 20 minutes, Leicester were a disaster, and Ulster had unbelievably quick ball, but they definitely reacted to that, made the breakdown a lot messier. Then they brought on some very good bench options at half time, and then it seemed Ulster went into this close the game out mentality, and they didn't change it up again when they went behind. So definitely a frustrating point of view or evening for the Ulster coaches in terms of their ability to influence the game.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold. Keep our height, keep our height. Keep
so
it.
Murray feeds that Munster scrum, and away they come with Hanrahan. Through the hands of midfield it goes out to Daly. Murray's done really well there to pop it off the floor under pressure to Clute, and Clute's done well to find Hanrahan. Now Kilcoyne up against O'Toole and Warwick in there. That's the Ulster 22. Munster doing well to retain possession. Now can they get some cohesion about this attacking set? Tight angle for Healy coming in off Conor Murray there. Murray again out of Hanrahan. Oh, a little bit of space there now. Opens up for Scannell and Goggin. And he had Clute there in support. Conor Murray is going for the line, and has he got that down? Is it a third try in 2 games for Conor Murray? Referee has given it. That's good awareness. We've seen it time and again from Conor Murray. No question about his geography of the try line there, and he has extended Munster's advantage here. We may have a look at it, but it looked pretty good.
Yeah, well, lovely strike play again, just fixing their men, putting the ball in space, and that's a great offload out from Goggin to Daly. He does really well. A little bit isolated at the breakdown here, but he has the wherewithal to throw the pop pass to Clute. Great hands from Coombs. They go back to the middle, and eventually they swap down the blindside. Probably Goggins should have scored it, but Murray from that distance, touch judge, let's call it. We can't see it in this angle. Touch judge was very clear it was a try, so hopefully we have a sideline angle. But Goggins throws a lovely dummy, doesn't try and overdo it, presents the ball back to Murray, and he's looked so sharp around the fringes so far.
The try stands, and the opportunity, albeit an extremely difficult one in these conditions, for JJ Hanrahan to extend the Munster advantage. Well, it was close. It was a decent strike. The swirling breeze making it very, very difficult. So it remains 12 points to 3. Conor Murray back among the tries again.
Yeah, and a really good interchange play from Munster, varying the point of contact, hitting close to the ruck there with Haley, and then going back out to Witt. And we just see it here, the composure from Goggin. He has Clute outside, but he's patient, and Conor Murray doesn't make any mistake from that angle.
High hanging Ulster restart taken really well by Peter O'Mahony.
That's inside. Ball is on the line, so it's inside. Yes. Use it.
Great to see Conor Murray back in this rich vein of form that he finds himself in after a tricky enough time with injuries, a neck injury which set him back quite a distance. And
that's yours, okay?
Yeah, but great control there, and he knows he's inside and just drills it low to bring the play up to halfway. Having scored a second try, better to get it off and put pressure on the Ulster line out.
Pressure on Alan O'Connor from Peter O'Mahony, but good claim from the big Dubliner in that Ulster second row.
Fine.
McCann, Mathieson to Lowry. Addison now. Very elusive, good use of his feet there to get beyond Clute.
Second goal.
Tadhg almost had a little second nibble. He wasn't there quite quick enough to affect the turnover on the first instance. McCluskey now. Munster doing well defensively, driving Ulster back at times in those collisions.
Okay, he's onside for me.
It's good nuisance value again from Tadhg, just making it really messy ball for Ulster, and they're having to regroup.
They're going backwards too, Conor.
Yeah. That's another really big hit on Jordy Murphy, and plenty of physicality out there. JJ Hanrahan against Tom O'Toole, I think it was, and here's Kilcoyne, and he can motor if he gets open country. Just lost his footing, and now is there space on the edge again. JJ Hanrahan kicks one through. The cover needs to come across from Stockdale, and he didn't grind it, so he's free to go here. Good cover from the Ulster fullback. Duggan was on the charge there and looking menacing.
Quiet.
Half an hour gone. Munster doing really well to pin Munster back inside their own half, and for long periods inside their own 22. Visitors finding it difficult to match Munster almost point for point in the physical battles.
Yeah, but you'd have to wonder where the game... I know it's difficult for Larry. He's a young 10 in terms of game time, but Albie Madison has to look to see where the space is. There's no space against that front line of Munster. They're losing energy, they're losing collisions, they're getting knocked back, but yet they continue to play ball in hand. And eventually Larry tries a chip, which is 30 yards from his own line, which wasn't even on. So you'd expect him to try and play a little bit more territory, because this is going to end badly for them.
Shane Daly actually coming careering in there under pressure with Stockdale back there. Here come Munster again. They've pretty much monopolised possession for the last 15 minutes or so. For the lion's share of the opening 32 minutes, if truth be told. Continuity is good, the recycling is good, and there's a little bit of invention and freedom about their play, and that's a lovely break. And is there to be a finish from Shane Daly? Almost, and he did have the option of the offload. Well, Stockdale might just get his team out of trouble there. Really timely. No, I thought he had a turnover, but he doesn't. It's there for Clute. Ryan now. Munster need a scrum half. Coombs goes in. Again, the numbers arrive, and Clute Tries to go straight through the middle, steals another yard. And they're winning the battle of the shoulders and the battle of the inches here, Munster. And Gavin Coombs is extremely difficult to stop from there.
7's the first man.
I thought he almost got it down, but Ulster have got themselves a penalty.
That's a huge turnover for Marcus Ray.
Hold on.
Some great build-up play by...
7 White was the first arriving man. Clear left, didn't come away with it.
Yeah, some great build-up play by Munster. A great break by Daly. He looked like he was going to go all the way, but just the ability of Munster to punch over the gain line. Their ball carriers are very dominant, but the clean-outs is phenomenal. And keep an eye on... I just watch here that I think Coombs, normally from this distance, he scores. I think he's a little bit surprised to get the pop and just gives Ulster a chance. Very good turnover from Marcus Ray. But the key man in terms of Munster's dominance has been Finian Wycherley. His clean-out work has been phenomenal.
Huge contribution for young Marcus Ray. He scored a try on his debut, I remember, against Leinster off the bench a couple of years ago. Only one previous start before tonight. Big game to come into, and certainly that's a big moment to keep it at 12-3 when Munster looked almost certain to get a third try. Daly's footwork almost enough to take him all the way to the try line in that last attack. Coombs didn't have a huge amount of support out there. He got it back inside to O'Mahony somehow. Thought he was in the touch, and there's Marcus Ray in there again. Burned in well. Good ball presentation from Kilcoyne. Allows it to be quick in the service into midfield to Dan Goggin. Murray back against the green to Byrne. He's popping up everywhere, isn't he? It's another really big performance from him. There's his second row partner, Finian Wycherley, and there is the Munster penalty.
And then off your feet.
Yeah, I think that's the third time we've seen a Munster player being able to pop the ball from the ground, which tells a story in its own way that there's not a huge amount of pressure on the ball from the Ulster support player in terms of second man in. So it just shows you Munster getting over the gain line. Ulster at 6 and 7s and haven't able to put any pressure on the ball. So been very dominant performance by Munster so far. And again, the scoreline isn't dominant, 12-3, but the wind is so strong and they've managed to carry and carry and carry.
Trot called.
Yeah, there's that pop off the floor from Byrne. Tackle had to be made by Stockdale, and it was.
Yeah, all okay.
Just the one try this season so far for Shane Daly. Been a good year though, capped at test level in that game against Georgia, of course.
Tight-ish with by White, but in general, good.
It's quite quick, but I'll try and get
5 minutes or thereabouts to half time. Can JJ Hanrahan add a further 3?
Slow ball.
Yeah. That's right.
Well, nothing easy on a night like tonight, but he would have expected to nail that, JJ Hanrahan, and it's 3 points gone a begging, as you were saying, Bernard, given their field position, the amount of possession they've had, 12 points to 3, they'd probably want a score or two added on to that before half-time.
Yeah, they haven't got the scores that their dominance has probably deserved, but I think psychologically they'll feel really good about themselves, and you know, Ulster will wonder how they're going to get back in this game, and they haven't taken advantage of what's probably a 10-point win.
Oh, there was a little bit of space there. Hanrahan was going through the gears, and Ulster did well to close the door just in time. Conway, haven't seen a great deal of him so far this evening. Goggin now elects to go to the boot. It's a tricky one for Stockdale. He needs a couple of bites at it, and then he didn't have time to get his clearance kick away, and he had to use his elusive footwork.
Number 2.
Go. No, you got to roll quicker. I'll referee that, okay? I didn't call it. No, you.
It's ones like that you always feel a little bit for the tackler, don't you? It's a great
away.
execution of the tackle from Scannell on Stockdale, and then he gets precious little time to get himself out of the way.
Yeah, Stockdale was under pressure here, just not catching that cleanly. Again, you see Coombs putting pressure on. Stockdale's running in field. It was a good tackle by Scannell. Nearly got too much on it. As he lifted him, he ended up on the wrong side, and it is frustrating, but you can't get caught on the wrong side. You've got to roll east or west, not back towards the 9, and you know, it's very difficult for the referee to determine whether it's deliberate to slow the ball down or a genuine effort, so you're going to get pinged regardless.
O'Mahony was up there, sniffing out a turnover at line-out time, and it's Munster ball again, tidied up by Coombs on the floor, and Scannell in there too. Good read from the Munster captain.
Turnover's good.
That's good word. I think it's Marcus Ray in there again.
No. Boys, the ball is there. Leave it. You call the ball. There's a good fight between 4 and 7.
And that's okay too, between
So they
Clute
got it
and
back.
Alan O'Connor.
Let it come. Dead drop.
Scannell now.
Big numbers here.
Tadhg when they go quickly over the top to Conway. Stockdale comes up. Conway goes a long way infield. Gets himself past Mathewson. Now Kilcoyne. Sense every time Kilcoyne gets the ball, he's itching to have a big impact in terms of that carry that we like to see from him. So quick and elusive. For a loose head prop. Oh, Scannell, that's good. There's his. Well, the ball didn't go into play. Touch judge felt it was certainly on its way.
Knock on red.
And now it eventually does.
Oh, it's a bad blood injury there to JJ, I think.
Okay.
No Scannell.
Quick once it's touched. You should knock on it to touch.
Knocked down by red into touch.
What?
Yeah, that's
Got
very
the-
nasty
Knock
indeed.
on the touch. You got to option of the scrum line. Scrum.
With lovely
Okay,
ambition
time's
here.
off.
There's the passing
Time's off
contact, and again, just the little ball over the top. He thought Peter Manny had stayed wide. Great effort from Peter Manny to keep it in, and yeah, some
scrum.
really good skill from Munster. They look really good at the moment. Ulster just need their leaders now to step up.
Yeah,
The likes of
he's gonna have to go for
Henderson, the
blood,
likes
guys.
of McCluskey, the likes of Stockdale need to try and take this game by the scruff of the neck and just
replacements
give them a little bit of direction. They're putting a huge amount of effort in. That's not a question at all. It's the efficiency of their effort is probably not at the level they need it to be at.
Time on, scrum called.
Nasty enough collision there between Will
Boys,
Addison
time
and
off. I got to check.
Shane Daly. I think Ollie Hodges might just have a look at that. Incidentally,
I'll let you know when I get there, okay?
the blood spillage from Rory Scannell came
Can
a
we
little bit
cue that
earlier
when he
on
gets
in
to the
that
screen,
phase
please?
of play.
Craig, I'm going to show you a dangerous tackle by 13 White.
Dangerous tackle by 13.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm at the screen now, Ollie. Show me the angles and tell me when. Listen, please.
Just watch the forearms here of Will Addison into Shane Daly.
Doesn't look good.
They're the two angles, Craig.
Yeah, Ollie, from what I'm seeing, we've obviously got the foul play. We've obviously got foul play here. There's a tack down by 13 White, never looking to make a legal tackle. He makes direct contact with the head. Even though the player is falling to the ground, it's still a reckless act. So I'm at red card for this instance, unless you got anything else to add.
Nope.
You agree? Yeah. Okay, so where's the mark, please, Ollie?
So no further mitigating
I'll go speak to,
circumstances despite the loss
Yeah,
of
we'll get
height.
book you the mark up for you.
Yeah, no worries.
Pretty clear
Okay.
from Craig Evans and from Ollie Hodges. It's going to be a red card for Will Addison.
Yeah, I think it's justified, to be honest.
Can
You
I have 13
can't
as well, please? Can I have 13 as well?
have head-high
13.
contact.
Boys, let me leave this, okay? Obviously got foul play.
Yeah.
You got attacked down. Never looking to make a legal tackle. Yes, the player has dropped. However, you're illegal from the start, and it's a reckless act, so it's going to be a red card. Red card.
Yeah, I would agree with that, to be honest. I think it's a dangerous tackle, and that took the arm motion he's talking about. the terminology is chicken wing. You see it sometimes in a clean out. You very rarely see an attack, and he has to be showing an effort there to wrap. So unfortunate for him in terms of, you know, he's coming back. He's looking to make an impact, but you got to stay inside the law. And he, you know, there's no, for me, there's no mitigating factors to say that he shouldn't get a red there.
Legal tackle.
Well, for 20 minutes now, of course, under the new trial laws, Will Addison departs the game. Disappointing for him, and you could see it on his face, having been out of the game for so long. But very clear protocols enacted by the officials.
So, big moment for Munster now. You know, 12-3 up, in clock in the red. Can they convert this into points?
A lot of talk too about that ruling and whether or not it just kind of dilutes down the importance of players to tackle correctly, get that low body position that World Rugby want to eliminate those kind of head contacts. But that's what we have here this evening. We have Munster now in full command and full control, and it's a lovely worked score from the home side, finished off in style by Mike Healy for his 4th try of the season. But Munster have a vice-like grip on this game now, and they have the points to punish Ulster for their indiscretion of down to 14.
Yeah, great line from Haley. Damien Lande's on for the blood bin to Rory Scanlon, just draws the defender across, and Haley comes against the grain. But that maul, that static maul, is actually a lovely ball, source of possession to play off. And Munster did it there, obviously, with a man down in the back line, went straight after that. And Haley's been really bright, he's been really busy, and he probably deserves that. But yeah, great time to score. I really like this maturity, this Munster team, and how they've played against the wind, the variety they've played with. And then again, just that little moment, man sent off, you've got one shot to score before half-time, and they go and execute it. So Johan van Graan will be very happy at half-time.
No mistake this time from JJ Hanrahan. And Munster, with the last act of an interesting and entertaining opening 40 minutes, have turned their dominance into more points. They have extended their advantage against this Ulster side, who will turn around with 14. Will Addison sent off, 3 tries for Munster. 19 points to 3 at half-time at Thomond Park. All set to go then for the second half, and it's a pretty different looking Ulster side that have emerged from the dressing room down beneath us. They've made wholesale root and branch reform, turning around at 19-3 in arrears. It looks to me as though there's a brand new front row have come in, and Dave Shanahan is in at scrum half as well. Now you can see Marty Moore is there.
Craig, ready to start when you are.
Rob Herring and Callum Reid also. Munster 3 tries to the good with those scores from Rory Scannell, Conor Murray and Mike Healy, with aesthetically the pick of the bunch right on half-time. Bernard Jackman reckoned it was a 10-point win here at Thomond Park, so can Munster complete the job with this 16-point advantage?
Quiet. Back.
Remember, with this Rainbow Cup format, you can't really afford to lose 2 games or you're very much out of the reckoning. That's Marcus Ray in again, and Ulster need a big start to this second half. The 14 men of Ulster, remember, losing Will Addison down to 14. They will, of course, be able to go back up to the full complement of 15 when that sanction ends after 20 minutes.
Yeah, good turnover from Marcus Ray. Again, good counter-attack from Mike Haley. Just probably gets a little bit isolated by beating the first man. And yeah, you can see the celebration from Marcus Ray. The way the first half went, Ulster really had very few moments that they actually won. So they just need to try and win some of those moments early in the game, start to get a little bit of possession momentum, and try and claw their way back in and start to build a bit of a score.
Go again. White hooker's ready now.
Yeah, I think Dan will be looking for a reaction from this bench. In fairness, he had an experienced bench held back, and he'll expect them to come on and show a little bit more grit and hopefully give them a platform for the next 20 minutes until they get back to 15.
First piece of action for
As a knock on the
Rob
line.
Herring.
Advantage right.
Nick Timoney is in also. That's a really strong carry from Reid. Shanahan, quicker ball. The hand's not there though that time. David McCann is the player been replaced by Nick Timoney. And again, it's simmering along, isn't it?
How do you do this? Seven.
Yeah, white 4 also continued after the ball.
Boys, just separate that. Think all you. Okay, whistle's gone. Spoke to the captain in the first half. When it goes, it's the end of it. It wasn't come back to the scrum. There's going to be a penalty against you now. You can't pull plays off the whistle. Okay?
Well, it was going to be a Munster put in for the knock-on from Ian Henderson, I think it was.
When
But
the whistle goes, just drop the ball and leave it.
reversed that to a Ulster penalty.
Corner. It's on the line, okay? Come in towards you, Rob.
19-3, and the option is to use the boot of Stockdale to try and get down into that 5-metre line or somewhere close to it.
You just see it here, knocked on from Henderson, and Alan O'Connor's going to lift it. There's not a huge amount in that, really. Just there, that's when probably he needs to let go. He's just holding on to Alan O'Connor on the ground, but yeah, not a huge amount. There's plenty of aggression and physicality from both sides. It's nice and spiky. Can't complain about that.
In the set, right, okay? Thank you.
In true Irish inter-provincial tradition, of course.
With him.
Almost 3 years since Ulster lost 3 consecutive matches. 2018 when they last did so. They've got a huge mountain to climb, and
Keep it up.
in the simplest terms, you've got to feel that they must get the next score, and it may need to be a 7-pointer. Rob Herring is making good progress here, and this is looking pretty good from an Ulster point of view. Herring, oh, he might go all the way. Saw a little chink of light there. Stopped short of that Munster try line. Now, have they got in there from Reid?
Stay hands.
Not quite. Forced back. Jordy Murphy gets it out. Timoney is in there, and Henderson too, and they're piling the bodies in, as indeed are Munster defensively. Tagburn almost got his hands on that somehow. And they go again, Ulster. Not quite. There's an advantage here. Do Ulster need it? Have they got as far as that try line? Henderson on the week of his Lions call up. There is the try.
Yeah, that's a brilliant response by Ulster. Ian Henderson's the man who eventually gets over, but it came from the bravery to kick it to the corner and a really well constructed line-out maul. You could see the energy the bench had brought on. See it here taken by Jordy Murphy, but look how quickly they get it moving, how compact it is, the body position. Rob Herring at the back, and just managed to, as soon as Munster lose a couple of players there, when Coombs slips, that's when they get forward momentum. Look at Marty Moore at the front, just building it. And I think Herring breaks off probably a second too early here and gets held up short. But from there, Ulster really disciplined, and eventually Henderson just gets inside that tackle. I think it was John Ryan. And again, good latch from behind from the subs, and a great score and a great response.
So low, that body position from so close in. Very, very difficult to stop. He struck that very well indeed, and that is a very, very valuable, psychologically, 2 points to add on to a great team try finished off by the captain Ian Henderson. Ulster very much back in business here despite being down numbers.
Yeah, great response, and probably the first half, I said there was lots of effort, just couldn't really find any area of dominance, and they just showed with that line-out maul. Maybe that's an area they can go to again and again, and particularly against the wind, having a strong maul can be really important.
Yes, those entry points into the game and
Didn't touch it, play on.
Ways and means to get energy into the game, and Michael Lowry's got plenty of that, and speed and elusive footwork.
Ball is out.
Particularly that try he scored a few weeks ago against Harlequins made everyone sit up and take notice. Now, already, what are we, 6 minutes in? There's been 3 or 4 very, very dynamic carries by Callum Reid.
Check our 5s on the floor there, please, Ollie. Use it!
Better appetite for the second half so far from Ulster. High it goes from Shanahan, a little bit too long, easy for Conway. The patched up Rory Scannell to Dan Goggin, sizing up Stuart McCluskey and Daly. Good defence from Ulster's inside centre. 19 points to 10 now, taken on by Kilcoyne.
16 back round.
Up beyond that Ulster 10-metre line, good shot infield for Conway. And they just did enough to bring him down. It wasn't quite a tackle, but it was a big enough speed bump to make it difficult. That's gone backwards. It's there for Coombs. Audacious back inside to Conor Murray. Munster keep the ball alive. KBA at Thomond Park in the interprovincial derby. Klutze now. Conor Murray again. Tadhg Byrne. What a score this would be if they can find a way to finish it off. Jordy Murphy comes through. Ball was there for Conor Murray. And now the Ulster open side is over it. Is that turnover ball for Ulster? No, Klutze, not for the first time, has wrestled it back on the Munster side. Right up to that Ulster 5-metre line.
Okay, let it go, no effect. Play on.
Ryan wants it, instead he's the decoy, and instead of going to the tight head, they go to the loose head. Kilcoyne and now Scannell. Good footwork to evade that would-be Jordy Murphy challenge, and now Dan Goggin. This is looking pretty promising from a Munster point of view. Into Haley it goes from JJ Hanrahan. Good wrestle to keep his hands on it from the Munster fullback now. Peter O'Mahony, good clear out. 2 or 3 Munster players in there. They wanted to put width on it. It was read by Stockdale. Ball goes to ground. Was it deliberate, I wonder? And goodness me, we'll all catch our breaths as the whistle sounds and the move comes to an end eventually.
Munster playing a mix of Harlem Globetrotters at time and then just brute force at others. But I think they're really bouncing. There's loads of energy in their carries. Even Peter Manny putting footwork on. We saw Scannell there, but this is a nice little bit of play. Kilcoyne goes out to open up the blind side, and you see Conway off his wing, spots there's no second defender there, and makes a great break. And from there again, another pop off the ground. One hand goes back. Coombs does really well to keep away from the touchline here. One-handed pass over by Daly, and eventually, you know, it's a penalty advantage. But really good skills from Munster. And again, I'd have to tell the viewers, it's really windy. There's drops of rain coming. You know, being able to keep the ball alive like that isn't easy in these conditions.
Check potential foul play on red 5. Okay, Ollie, through that conversation.
Getting it now.
Yeah, we're going to come to you.
Yep, no problem.
The screen.
Yes. So
they want to check potential foul play by, I think you said white 3 on.
That's on red 5, yeah.
Blue scrum cap.
So Tom O'Toole on Tadhg Byrne, and the possibility here of foul play.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Ollie, you're there when you're ready.
It's 18.
It's Marty Moore, isn't it, on Tadhg Byrne? Just watch the shoulder and the contact
this is the best
area.
one there, Craig.
Look, for me, I think white 18 is looking to make a genuine clear out on red 5. I don't see any foul play here.
No, I'd agree.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, that's fair point, John. Yeah, fair point. Yes, yes, he is making a genuine attempt of a clear out. However, there is high contact. Yeah, just gets it wrong. Penalty only for me. Yeah, I think it's a penalty only. Unless you've got anything else to add there, Ollie?
No, I don't.
Okay, so obviously red will keep the captain's challenge, so successful, and there'll be a penalty to red. If you just get a mark for me, please, and I'll have a word with the captain.
It's 18 white.
Yeah, if you just get a mark for me, please.
Yeah, I think that's really good refereeing from
Boys, 2 captains, please.
Craig Evans. just listen to him talk to the captains.
Captain, please. Okay, the captain's challenge from red 7. Contact on the head by your white 18 at the breakdown. He is looking to make a genuine attempt of a clear out. However, there is high contact, just going to be a penalty. It's a success for the captain's challenge and you keep it.
Thanks, sir.
Okay? There'll be a penalty. I'm going to get the mark of a TMO. I think it's just a 22.
Yeah, my point is, I think it was a penalty, but I don't think it was any more. I think there was contact at the head, but Marty Moore was trying to make a genuine effort. And I think that's nice, calm work between Ollie Hodges and Craig Evans, and the right decision. And Munster, keep their captain's challenge, which may come, maybe needed later on in the game.
And I'm comfortable here. You happy?
Yeah, it's good captaincy as well from Peter O'Mahony. If you lose your captain's challenge, you don't get the decision. Of course, you only have one, but you keep it up to the point where you lose it. You can't keep using it provided you're successful in your captain's challenge. So a great opportunity now for Munster, having been pinned back in terms of that advantage that they held at half-time, to hit back here.
Yeah, they'll be chasing a bonus point here. You know, the 3 tries already. They'll look to get the bonus point in the bag and just regain a little bit of dominance. Obviously, Ulster haven't get that great try just after half-time.
It's too high for Tagburn this time. Rob Little now with hands on, right on the doorstep of his own try line. A long way to go for Ulster here now. Shanahan, knock-on advantage over. Marcus Ray under pressure from Finan Wycherley. Good pressure from Conor Murray and Lowry now. Conway never takes his eye off defensively.
Tackle is completed.
And he gets the decision too against Ethan McElroy.
Let's look at this one. Tackle is completed. Release the ball.
See Conway, he gets contact there. Ethan McElroy needs to drop that ball and pick it up again. So well spotted. I know the Ulster players aren't happy with it, but he was held for a split second. That means he has to release it. Last time Munster went to the corner, they just overthrew it on Tadhg, but gone again here now and just need to get their drill right and see if they can test this Ulster maul.
Perfect, where you are, as you are.
50 minutes in, 10 minutes into the second half. Ulster down to 14 for a further 10 from here. That's 2 in a row.
Yeah.
We're going to mention the conditions, isn't it, again, but...
Yeah, it's just a very sloppy drill, very slow throw, no lift. Obviously get the call wrong. You know, I feel sorry for Scanlon. He must have realised that the communication was wrong and he just seemed to undercook it a little bit and end up being skewed. But
brand new front row. I spoke the last lot. Height you can maintain and no load in the bind, please.
They'll be disappointed with that. They've had such a positive start to the game, and just to blow 2 line-out opportunities like that. But in the previous play off the turnover, it's great to see Rob Little getting an opportunity. He's such an exciting player, and if he gets a one-on-one, he's so hard to defend, and broke out from the Ulster try line to the 22.
Bind. Set.
Such an energetic influence. I remember he scored 2 tries against Munster in a game up in Belfast a couple of years ago. 2 brilliantly taken scores, if memory serves correctly.
High tackle, red.
That's high from Rory Scannell now on Michael Lowry. Plenty for the officials to do this evening. Shanahan did well. There is the aforementioned Rob Little.
Stay. Still got a penalty, White.
Still with that penalty advantage. Henderson into contact.
Okay, number 12.
Back we
He's
go.
not wearing a number on his back. It's a penalty only.
Yeah, and again, this time it's Lowry just going to that outside break, and Scanlon just gets caught.
High tackle, number 12.
Seatbelt tackle. There's no danger in it. It's just
Inside of 22.
you just can't do. You can't do it. You're always going to give away a penalty for that. But good for Ulster. They've managed to withstand two set-piece opportunities for Munster. One was blown by Munster themselves, the other one was good pressure, and you know, they've looked a little bit more dangerous ball in hand this half.
He's given that absolutely everything, Jacob Stockdale, and he hasn't quite managed to get up to halfway. Again, a measure of the conditions, the worsening conditions. Nine-point game, 52 minutes into the front to Jordy Murphy. Didn't quite catch it cleanly, forced to knock it back on the Ulster side. And now McCluskey spins one out over the top to McElroy up against Conway again. Shanahan to Stuart McCluskey. Lowry, good feet again. That looked a little bit suspect in there. Ball didn't go forward. Ulster can play on. Can they gain some foothold in Munster territory here? Munster very quickly off that defensive line, led by Dave Kilcoyne. So too Niall Scannell this time on Michael Lowry.
Yes.
Shanahan now to Jordy Murphy. Ethan McElroy on a cold night has come in off his wing, hungry for ball to try and stay involved and use his speed to get Ulster on the front foot here. They're not really making a massive impact on the gain line though. Lowry goes beyond O'Connor this time to Jordy Murphy. And there is the intercept. Rory Scannell will get his second try of the night. And they've been very, very quick off that line. And Rory Scannell is the player to profit. And once again, Munster open up that advantage with an opportunistic score. Second of the night from their inside centre.
Yeah, you just see here they've got good line integrity, and it just comes up. Ulster burnt too many players at the breakdown. Obviously still a man in the bin, and just picks off that pass. Really good read by Scannell. In fairness to Ulster, their ball retention was quite good as they worked their way up the field, but against this wind it's so hard to kick. And eventually Munster just see that opportunity, get that line speed from the outside and pick it off. Difficult for Ulster, one man down, to play that possession type game, but as I said, they played that in the first half as well when they had to win, so they were highly unlikely to be able to do anything against the wind in terms of kicking opportunities.
The intercept score is always a bonus, and in this instance it is quite literally a fourth try for Munster, and the conversion from Hanrahan, 26 points to 10. So three changes in the Munster forward pack. Kilcoyne, Wycherley and Cloutey called ashore. Lockman, Klein and CJ Stander coming in. No perceivable let up in the intensity, shall we say, then, with those changes.
That's a brilliant take from Peter O'Mahony in the air there under terrible conditions.
Conway stopping the progress of Stockdale. Back inside it goes from Timoney to Reid.
6 black and 6 white here.
Shanahan.
I got a foul play flag from the AR, boys. White in possession, so you have to stop the game. Okay, I got a flag from the AR for foul play. White in possession, so I got to stop the game.
I think there's a neck roll here against Jordy Murphy.
It's quite a bit of information over the columns there. Flag is white in possession.
Just for a neck roll by white 6 at the last rock here.
Neck roll here?
Yeah.
White 6. It's a neck roll by white 6, so penalty on the 5. Yeah. The neck roll in the breakdown. White 6, neck roll in the breakdown. Penalty.
Just hands all the incentive, the initiative and the field position back to Munster with the penalty, just as Ulster were looking to get themselves out of their own half, having conceded that Scannell try.
Yes, I think you see it here. Coombs is looking to put pressure on.
How many?
Yeah, look, there's a bit of an arm around. It's not
2
a
meters clearly.
typical neck roll. I
Boys, you in or out?
think Jordy Murphy's probably a little bit unlucky there.
Keep the gap. That's fine. That's fine.
That's better from Munster point of view.
Over the 15. Leave the legs. Leave the legs.
Greater sense of cohesion as they find Coombs. Scannell now with Murray. Didn't really have an option to his right-hand side.
Extra step, push.
John Ryan. Scannell on a hat-trick, of course. JJ Hanrahan, space there. Acceleration and pace from JJ Hanrahan. And Munster have a 5th try. Really good from the fly half. Not quite all his own work, but certainly a great finish as he glided past 2 or 3 pretty static-looking Ulster defenders. And the gap is widening.
Yes, it's that little ball out the back. He's a second wave runner. He's got options. Munster have a big overlap on the outside. He's been really sharp, JJ. I think he's taken the ball to the line really well. Spots that.
The red card return is on now for White.
Puts that little dog leg again and goes inside.
No problem.
But it's Goggins. Goggins' hard line opens up that space, and Ulster defenders turn their shoulder in, and JJ sees that and just goes through the gap. A lovely score.
Two-time Pro 14 Golden Boot winner. A 20-minute red card sanction about to elapse. By the way, James Hume will be the player, we understand, to replace Will Addison, and he's coming into a game that is increasingly looking like being a comfortable Munster victory. That's really good strike from JJ Hanrahan, and Munster, to their credit, have responded really well to that early Ian Henderson try with those scores from Scannell and from JJ Hanrahan.
Yeah, I think it's a key time that Ulster go back to 15. Just they looked really fatigued in that last period of Munster attack. So this game could get really ugly if Ulster don't find a little bit of energy and a little bit of resolve.
Ball is there. Stay.
Shanahan now to Jordy Murphy. As you said, Ulster may feel a little aggrieved at the concession of that penalty deep in their own territory, which ultimately led to the try. Lowry now to McCluskey. Further fresh resources up front for Munster. Kevin O'Byrne and Roman Salanoa coming in. Munster have defended very stoutly in these kind of situations. John Klein using his physical presence. O'Mahony kicks it down to Stockdale. Ulster still deep inside their own half, and they can't really find an avenue out of that situation just yet. Such is the appetite for the contact and collisions for Munster. They've been full throttle all evening. We head into the final quarter. McElroy again. Lowry again. This time into Nick Timoney. They're not making any ground, are they, Ulster? Very hard work out there. Hume.
Lost.
Might have a captain's challenge to look at shortly. I did hear one of the Ulster players say to Craig Evans, and he said, yeah, you can have a look at it if you want.
Okay. Okay. Ian, I heard the conversation you had. Okay. Just slow it down a second, okay? Had a team all come through for a neckle against white 16, so that's a brother whistle. However, between the phases, I heard you said you wanted a captain's challenge. Is that correct?
What's the outcome of your initial statement there?
So there's going to be a penalty against you. Against you.
We check 19 high tackle on our white. Scrum cap 10.
So you want to check a high tackle by 19 red onto number 10. Where was it? On the 10-metre line?
Sort of around what Marcus is standing there around this zone.
Okay. Ollie, can you hear the conversation with the white captain?
Yeah, we're queuing it up now.
He wants to check a high tackle by 19 red on white 10.
Yep, we're queuing it up for now. Yeah.
Okay. Have a look.
So Jean Klein on Michael Lowry.
It's a big call, this one, because it seems as if
Okay, at the screen.
if it's overruled, it's a penalty to Munster.
They're just
for
finding the
neck roll.
footage for you now, Craig. Just bear with us.
Yeah, we're on the 10-metre area.
It's coming here now.
Potentially a seatbelt tackle. This angle's probably the best angle.
This is probably the best one to view it on.
It's not a huge amount in it, is there?
Well, it's that it's the size of Lowry against the size of Klein, and the attempted kind of choke wrap tackle to try and hold him up.
He dips into it as well, Larry.
Yeah.
There's no contact, there's no force to the head.
Look, white 18 was looking at a genuine clear out, still made high contact. Even though the player is dropping you, they're still over the shoulder, around the neck. So to be consistent, I'm going to go penalty only.
Yep, I'd agree.
And that is on the 10-metre line, was it?
Yes.
On the 10-metre line, halfway through the pitch?
Middle of the field.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, look, it is seatbelt. It's very similar to the tackle that happened earlier on. There's no force, you know.
Captain's
it's penalty
challenge
only.
successful with a high tackle by red 19, so penalty. You retain your challenge. Okay, middle of the field, lads.
Michael Lowry, in the meantime, is going off, it seems.
Red 19.
Bit of activity too on that Munster bench, as you can see over on the far side. Angus Curtis is back in. Another player who's really struggled with injuries. And it'll take him a little bit of a time to get acclimatised to the blustery conditions. No touch finder over on that far side from the penalty, which is expensive.
Ball is out. Ball is out.
Opportunity lost for Ulster. It could be to Munster's gain.
Lost, right,
Kevin O'Byrne into contact, but the ball is there for Conor Murray, not for Dan Goggin.
Use it! 9 use.
Precious few contestable kicking from Munster really in this game. Rob Little back to Stockdale. Oh, that's clever from Stockdale. What about the bounce? And he makes it his own. It was a difficult pickup at the pace Stockdale was travelling at to get his hands on it, but he did. Penalty advantage here for Ulster. Munster offside. Herring. Henderson now. Still the advantage as they go to Nick Timoney. It's a really strong carry from Timoney. Marty Moore now. Shanahan again. Curtis, can he get this back line firing?
Still got the advantage we wanted.
Little.
Yes.
And that's high as well, Craig.
That was high from Peter O'Mahony, so they may have the option of...
Okay, you got a high tackle there now. Offside in the middle. You got a high tackle by 6 red or offside? Okay.
So they'll
Penalty,
take
high tackle, 6.
the later of the two.
Craig, replacement for red, number 9 and 10.
Just Craig, that's 3 high tackles against Munster, so just bear it in mind.
Yeah.
All change in the half-backs now for Munster. Nick McCarthy and Ben Healy poised to come in.
Okay, when it goes out, okay, 9 and 10.
good from Conor Murray and JJ Hanrahan tonight as well. Interesting to see how Ben Healy goes, but Conor Murray certainly in a rich vein of form, and nice cameo with that try from JJ.
Yeah, I thought both 9 and 10 have been excellent. They varied the point of contact well, they kicked well, and Conor Murray particularly looked really sharp, which is great to see. So he leaves the field having got through it unscathed in a great week for him when he gets picked for the Lions, but he's definitely peaking at the right time.
Not for now, we're being told. The overcoats are back on for McCarthy and Healy. Murray and Hanrahan still with us for now, and part of this defensive action from Munster.
No, he's in. Out.
Herring still going. Roman Salanoa dismissed by Craig Evans. 15 minutes to go, 33 points to 10. Forward momentum, and it's difficult to come by now. Shanahan, can he inject it? McCluskey certainly can with the tools he's got.
No lift. No. Leave it, 7, leave.
Peter O'Mahony has his hands on it, but illegally so.
Back on the 5. Rock there, hands.
Yeah, good response from Ulster. It all came from Stockdale's little chip on halfway, which he regathered, which gave them momentum, and they had a couple of penalty advantages, a couple of high tackles against Munster, and and again a good line-out maul to drive off. It'll be interesting here. Will they go for the tap and go?
What are you going to do? Okay.
Yeah, they're going to kick the corner. A lot of teams now don't bother kicking the corner. They just like to tap and go towards the post. But Ulster, in fairness, their maul has looked pretty decent. So they're fancier chances from 5 metres out from a set piece rather than loose play.
Red now 9 and 10.
Guys, red 9 and 10, please.
So now those changes are going to happen.
All on you.
McCarthy and Healy in for Murray and Hanrahan.
The ground, please, lads.
Another try tonight for Conor Murray.
Time back on. Formal lines, please.
One shy of his 150th appearance now for Munster. Conor Murray, the 89 times capped Ireland international, with 5 Lions Test matches to his credit. Ulster now rampaging forward from that line-out maul. Jeremy Loughman's legal, though. He came through the middle and he's got his hands on it. Well, it was a big call to go to the line. I was just about to say, other than that they took it quickly, that the tap and go cuts down the margin of error, really, in terms of the correct delivery, picking out the right target, and then the instance we've just seen.
Yeah, and also, if they were only about 5 or 6 metres in from the post, they could have went towards the post, opened up two-sided attack. But once you go into the corner, you're very much jammed inside that 15-metre line, and you just see Loughman. He works his way through. In fairness, Munster are very aggressive. They pick off Ulster players in ones and twos and splinter them out, and that opens up the opportunity for Loughman to get on the ball. And yeah, good aggressive defence and good technique as well. It's good to see Roman Salanoa getting some game time. He's been busy defensively. This will be his first scrum, I think, but it's a really interesting battle between him and Knox as the 2 young tight heads, obviously coming through to push the likes of John Ryan and Archer.
I can't go, because in the last 5 minutes of the game there was the decision. I can't go and check that. Oh, I understand. I thought you wanted a challenge then. I thought you wanted a challenge then.
It ends up on the ball, there's no way.
You came flaking through the middle and turnover. Oh, that one good.
No captain's challenge, I think, wisely, really, on the evidence of the replays that we saw. Ian Henderson, by the way, has gone off, so Sam Carter is in. Yeah, it's interesting, the likes of Salanoa and Knox and the younger players looking to come through in this Rainbow Cup, and how much game time they'll get from Johan van Graan and the Munster coaching ticket, particularly if Munster keep winning games and they're hell-bent on getting that elusive piece of silverware after 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's important that they get the balance right between both trying to obviously win this competition, but also giving those young players a chance. I mean, we saw against Toulouse, we've seen against Leinster in the final in the Pro 14. They do need more from those young players, and the only way they're going to know how good they are is by getting game time.
I haven't said anything. Let's go. You're both head on head there. Let's control it. Let's go. We can't pre-engage, boys. Work hard in this gap.
I think they'll be more than pleased tonight as well. Week off after that really galvanising win against Leinster at the RDS, and they've come back in here tonight, and in patches certainly we've seen a game more than glimpses of a slightly more expansive, creative side.
Yeah, they definitely have. The skill sets look good, but they've been dominant up front. They've been dominant in the breakdown area. There's a real edge to their physicality, and I think that's Munster of old. And you know, the rest of the stuff will come after that. But definitely 2 really good weeks for Munster rugby.
First touch for Ben Healy could scarcely have been a more difficult one, as we said, in these conditions. And the caveat tonight is, because maybe it's not coming across too much on the pictures, is just how difficult the conditions have become.
Yeah, and he's got a massive boot. Now, fairness, good pressure from Shanahan, but you know, when Ben Healy's only kicking it 5 metres past his own goal line, it tells you how strong the wind is.
Keep the height.
Sam Carter straight into the thick of line-out action for Ulster.
That's advantage collapsing. 16
Well,
red.
they've got
16
well
red,
set initially 3 or 4 times in that situation, Ulster, and then Munster have managed to snaffle it. This time they've done it illegally against Kevin O'Byrne for collapsing.
He was fighting the ball coming back.
He might tap and go here. Shanahan. Ulster need a little bit of hurry up.
16 red collapsing.
Time running out, even to reflect more favourably on that scoreline. 5 tries to 1.
Yeah, if we get another look at that maul, you'll see Tyke Byrne and I think it's Lockman on the left-hand side, the open side, trying to just pin it down. And they do a great job, but unfortunately, Munster creak. And from Munster point of view, creak on the inside and it gets broken. I've seen them just pin it down, hand on the ground, but just goes left then. In fairness, Ulster shift off and it becomes fragmented. And from there, you know, they have a penalty advantage. But good maul defence by Munster. I think you can take liberties there and force the referee to penalise you rather than trying to be too legal.
No, Ulster endeavouring to mix it up and be a little bit clever there, trying to find Timoney at the front. He took it well. Alan O'Connor. Sean Klein, what a player to bring into this type of game at this stage with that kind of physicality, forcing O'Connor back there in the tackle.
Use! Stay! Hey, back!
Jordy Murphy not.
Offside.
No way through.
Penalty advantage.
Coombs a little quick, he's straight offside. Marty Moore on the spin. Ulster very close to that Munster try line. 10 minutes to go. Is there something out the back with Hume and Stockdale there? Goggin on the defensive. Quick ball for Shanahan. Can he suck in the cover? Releases the ball over the top from Rob Little.
Still play advantage to White.
Still the advantage. Munster have had time to regroup as Shanahan just had to juggle with it. Jordy Murphy not.
Release tackler. That's fine.
And that's Tyke Byrne coming through, making it very messy for Shanahan.
Close to a yellow card here. That's been 5 or 6 penalties.
Yeah, time's off, yeah.
So you can't go for
I'm not going to rush this. I spoke to you in downtown regarding high tackles with 3 of them. You've had a maul with 16 collapse. Breakaway, 8 is now offside. If there's another one here, it's more likely going to be a yellow card, okay? Have a word with the player if you wish, or as a team. Time is off, use it now.
Yes, official warning.
Final warning.
For red number 13.
Just watch Gavin Coombs there, he's discarded the scrum cap.
No, it's offside.
Yeah, it's
the penalty be okay.
Very rare if you build a series of pick and goes like that someone won't creep up the ruck or have their hands on the ground and you'll have a penalty advantage. But look at the scoreboard at 33-10, the bonus point in the bag. You know, Munster aren't really too stressed about it. You know, they'll actually enjoy this, probably defending their line and try to frustrate Ulster.
Where is he? Captain happy?
Ulster away to Leinster in round 3. Munster at home to Connacht.
Time on.
Yeah, so Ulster are going to go to the corner again.
Well, they're persevering with the tactic, which is...
discipline out, please, lads. Discipline.
Oh, that's ambitious. It's over-ambitious. It's an overthrow, and it's been hoovered up by the two-try Rory Scannell.
And that's why a lot of teams don't kick to the corner as well, because obviously you have the risk that you're not going to win the set piece. And even though they have a maul that looks a little bit dangerous, you know, there's a risk from where Stockdale kicked it from. And then obviously the risk that you're going to face defensive pressure. And Peter Manny got up in the air and forced Herring to overthrow it. So, yeah, good pressure from Munster, but poor execution from Ulster.
Deolande in for Dan Goggin.
Okay, time back.
I think Goggins had a strong game. He's been really lively. Young player who's got a huge amount of physicality and doesn't get a huge amount of game time, had some injuries, but I think he's got a lot to offer.
He's fine.
Herring looking for and finding Alan O'Connor. Stuart McCluskey, quick transfer inside to James Hume. Again, it's very loose. Salanoa, that didn't go forward. Peter O'Mahony, we've seen him kick now a couple of times this evening. That's a much better effort than his first one. Oh, just didn't go the right side of the post. Didn't turn out too great in the end. It looked good in real time.
It was the right thing to do. Just wanted that ball to stay in. He got bounced, kicked towards the dead ball area instead of kicking out for touch. Good turnover, shifting to the edges, space in the backfield. Agricultural type technique, and hence the result.
Scrum white.
So all the way back we go. A little over 5 minutes remaining. 5 tries to 1 on the board for Munster.
Balance, no wait for the bind, please.
Turned around 19-3 in front, and for a brief few moments, thanks in the main to a try from Ian Henderson, Ulster find themselves right back in it. 19 points to 10, but Rory Scannell and JJ Hanrahan have put the issue to bed with 2 tries for Munster.
8 feet. 8 feet, please. Number 1, hinge.
Yeah, Jeremy Loughlin just struggling there to deal with Marty Moore. We know he's a very good scrummager. Technical term is hinging. So again, another opportunity for Ulster to go to the corner and try and get a score to reward their effort. In fairness, the last 20 minutes, they've really dug in since they got back to 15 players. They've dominated territory and dominated possession, which is, you know, testament to them, because it was looking pretty ominous in terms of how the scoreline could have got completely out of control.
Boys, middle of the line, push
Yeah, well, as we said, they've not won here since 2014. Lost 5 and drawn 1 of their last 6 trips to Thomond Park. It's a tough place to come at the best of the times, with a full deck and 9 changes from the Welford Road defeat tonight. And I think particularly the likes of John Cooney and Billy Burns in terms of game management and control. It's a big ask for Michael Lowry to switch into that 10 berth, but as Bernard says, they've dug in here. Further penalties, and surely Munster are going to go down to 14 at some point. They've got to have gotten under the skin of the referee here. Stuart McCluskey now.
I think Peter's gone.
Spoke to the last time down here. Back you go.
Who's that? The penalty's about 7 metres from the goal line.
Pretty sloppy launch play off the penalty advantage with Stockdale getting his wires crossed. You see here, Peter Manny, he's okay there. And then we just see, he says he changed his mind. It's not very clear, to be honest. It's very difficult to referee those mauls at the moment, where the player's allowed stay in his position, which often ends up being very much up the other side of the maul.
First time Peter O'Mahony wore the red of Munster, it was against Ulster up in Belfast 11 years ago now. 5 minutes to go for Ulster to get some consolation by way of a second try.
6, 5, leave it, 5. Back around, please. 9.
Tyrell Byrne has to be careful not to repeat the offence that his captain was just sin bin for. Shanahan had to juggle.
Tackle, release, tackle.
McCluskey, squeeze ball on Ulster there. You can hear the cries of the Munster players. I think it's Gavin Coombs again with a great body position over the ball, is it, that's affected that turnover?
Yeah, it's a big turnover, and again, that time Ulster will be very disappointed with their inability to maul Munster over, even though Munster had a forward less. And again, it's not slick from McCluskey. Byrne holds him up, and then the referee says release. He releases him, and he gets isolated, and Coombs gets a turnover.
So important is Gavin Coombs to this side. Okay, 76, 77 minutes on the watch. Let's get Bernard's Guinness Player of the Match this evening.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of strong performance from Munster. I've been really impressed with him. You know, we mentioned JJ Hanrahan and Conor Murray. Gavin Coombs was exceptional, but for me, my Guinness Player of the Match is Mike Haley. I thought he was excellent in the first half when Munster had some possession, and yeah, did it all really. Caught the ball on the line out, scored a try, worked hard, and very impressive.
So, well deserved. Ever consistent, always reliable, and frequently exceptional. Mike Haley. Ethan McElroy under the high ball. Munster playing out the final few minutes with 14, but it's boding well for Johan van Graan and Stephen Larkham this competition, the Rainbow Cup. It's two very impressive performances and 2 wins under their belt against their interprovincial rivals. Can they make it a hat-trick against Connacht next week? Ulster, by contrast, well, very difficult to come back and have a say from this kind of position. McCluskey now, a little bit of space opens up in front of him. That's a great run from McCluskey. Could he get the support? There was Shanahan available on the inside. He couldn't get the ball to him, and now Munster with the option here. Potential to go all the way for McCarthy. Cover comes across from Stockdale. Daly there in support.
Competition lost.
Haley, space if they can shift it. Big numbers. They go to the boot of Scannell. Has he overcooked it? No. Conway's collected it, and he will get his first try of the season. That's a lovely finish for Munster and for Andrew Conway, a player who needs a try. Hasn't scored since he got a couple at the back end of last season at the Aviva in August. And in the dying embers of this game, huge smiles all round for Andrew Conway. Massive numbers, and they took a flamboyant route to get there via the boot of Scannell.
Yeah, what a breakout. Scramble defence, get a turnover. Stockdale as well to trap McCarthy, but that's the key moment, just throwing that offload. Big overlap, but in fairness, Scannell, he's got such a cultured left foot, and he just trusts that ball to bounce up to Andrew Conway. Conway's been sharp. It's great to see him score that try and a smile on his face. He hasn't played a huge amount of games over the last while, and he'll definitely enjoy that. And but again, it's defence to attack. It's that transition. As soon as that ball was turned over, Munster managed to get wit on both sides of the field, and yeah, it was really good play to go from left to right and put Conway in the corner.
4 tries, as I said, in 2 games against Connacht and Leinster, but that's his first since then. So, first of the season on his 9th appearance for Andrew Conway. 47 in total in Munster colours. No, that's not bad. It was coming around, but not quite, from Ben Healy. But that is a very good night's work for Munster. And they have dispatched this Ulster side on home turf yet again. 2 wins out of 2. They've beaten Leinster at the RDS, and now they've beaten Ulster at Thomond Park, and they are looking pretty good in this Rainbow Cup. 6 tries tonight, 2 for Rory Scannell, another one for Conor Murray, JJ Hanrahan, and finished off by Andrew Conway at the death. Final score at Thomond Park in Limerick: Munster 38, Ulster 10. Well, a decent night's fare in the Rainbow Cup despite the inclement conditions, cold conditions, swirling breeze and a little bit of rain in the second half. And really, well, although the margin might have been a little bit greater than we might have anticipated, when you had a look at the two teams and the fact that Ulster were coming down a little bit demoralised after those two defeats, it must be said, no real surprise, I suppose, Bernard, about the outcome.
No real surprise. But I think it's really important that Ulster salvage something from this end of season, just in terms of where they go next year. You know, Sam Carter's back now from injury. It's important he takes on some responsibility. They've got an away game against Leinster next up, which is obviously difficult. You know, I can understand the Connacht defeat. Connacht played really well. Ulster's made some changes late in the game, trying to rest players for Leicester. Leicester was very disappointing. Tonight's going to be a hard result to stomach, but they're better than this, and I think it's really important that they salvage something out of the season with some stronger performances and show how competitive they can be.
Yes, it's in danger of petering out, really, isn't it, from Dan McFarlane's point of view. And Munster, meanwhile, having lost to Leinster in that Pro 14 final, responded with huge character and physicality in the win at the RDS a few weeks thereafter. Plenty to ponder, though, from Dan McFarlane's point of view. Getting closer, you feel, having made it to a Pro 14 final, Challenge Cup semi-final. That was a real kick in the stomach from the position they found themselves in. What was it, 17 points to 6 up and in control of the game. Very different set of circumstances tonight, but on the receiving end of a hefty enough scoreline, 38 points to 10. Munster looking down the track to Connacht. Always interesting when Connacht come to Thomond. There's always a little bit of edge about that game as well, or at least there has been in recent seasons. Lots of positives for Munster again tonight. Gavin Coombs again, very, very good. Tadhg Byrne on the week of his Lions call-up, exceptional. Conor Murray, as we said, back to very, very good form. It's an interesting moment, isn't it, between CJ Stander and Ian Henderson. Two sides of a coin. Yeah, that's nice to see, no doubt. CJ full of congratulations to Ian Henderson, and likewise the commiserations in the opposite direction.
Long trip home for Ulster now.
Yeah,
you know, it's a tough defeat to take on board, and yeah, as I said, it's really important. The leadership group, the Hendersons, the Carters, really take this squad by the scruff of the neck now, and they bounce back and show some real mental resilience.
Okay, well, 6 tries from Munster tonight, the third of those from Mike Healy, his 4th of the season, and Bernard Jackman's Guinness Player of the Match is standing by with Shane.
Are you right?
Mike, congratulations. You are tonight's Guinness Player of the Match, and we have Peter O'Matney here to present you with your medal.
Congratulations.
Formalities over. Thank you, Peter. Mike, big win, big performance. What's the overriding emotion coming away from that one?
Oh yeah, we're delighted. You know, it's another big derby for us, and you know, we really wanted to get back to Thomond and put basically a statement in for all the fans that can't be here. You know, we looked at the game that was back here at home, and the place was packed. So, you know, that one was for the fans at home, and you know, we hope we did proud.
Plenty of tries scored tonight from an all-round fantastic performance from Munster, but yours probably the most aesthetically pleasing. How pleased were you to get over and really top off your own personal performance?
Oh yeah, it was just a good move, and just ended up being on the end of it. So no, it was a good play that they gave the call for. So no, it was nice.
And we talked about the intensity of an Inter-Pro. Was that something you guys would have targeted, the physical aspect of it? Because again, similar to the team's performance against Leinster, it was another big showing.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, whenever we're at home, we want to make a statement. You know, we're not going to roll over and make anything easy. So we were into everything, and that's just how we like it.
Gentlemen, Mike, I'll let you go warm up.
Top man.
Thanks.
Cheers, mate.